But the only thing I was, hoping was to get a scholarship. And it's nice to hear that you also got a scholarship of 50%.
So
Right.
that's why this MBA would help me to transition my career from a finance strategy manager to a more comprehensive business strategy manager in a fintech space. The problem with Indian MBA colleges is that they don't consider the articleship period as the work experience. Fact obviously made it a little bit difficult for me to frame my application in such a way that I can show my professional experience, my achievements in a very short span of time, right? First brainstorming session was very good. So he told me that whatever you have in your mind, just write it down on paper. Don't think about the word limit. Don't think about what words to use, how to frame the paragraphs. When I started, I was not able to write 2 lines. But when I finished the first content, it was 800 words. You have very less things to highlight. I would say just wait for a year, take up good projects at your workplace, then apply for ISB rather than just being a reapplicant next year.
So, Arpit, congratulations again for making it to the prestigious program. And I was very sure the day I spoke to you that, with this profile and the GRE score, there's nobody who can stop you. But the only thing I was, hoping was to get a scholarship. And it's nice to hear that you also got a scholarship of 50%. So, congratulations again. And the reason why we do these video chats is to, bring your experience and share them with people with a similar background so that they also understand that how did you arrive at where you are today, and what all you had to go through, what was your strategy, and things like that. Okay, so let's start by understanding about your academic and professional profile, if you can share that first.
Sure. So I am a chartered accountant by profession, and I cleared my CA examinations in November 20. And post that, I have 2.5 years of work experience across different companies, like 2, 3 companies. Right now, I'm working at Cars 24 as a senior manager. Talking about my bachelor's degree, I did my graduation from Shriram College of Commerce I did BCom honors from there. And then post that, I did CA. And my class 12 score was also decent. Because of that only I got into SRCC. So
Right.
that's about my academic and professional background.
Great. And you are a CA, and transitioning from roles in business finance and auditing at ITC, and also
Yeah.
working at Deloitte, to a P&L growth and strategy manager position at a prominent unicorn. How are you planning to navigate your career to a business strategy role in the fintech space,
So
post ISB, of course?
so basically the reason why I had so many companies in my profile was because I was searching for a non-conventional CA role after my qualification. I was getting roles in accounting, auditing, but I had already done all of those. I was looking for something in business strategy. So at Cast 24, when I got an opportunity to work as a P&L growth and strategy manager, I worked along with a lot of MBA folks there. So the way they thought, the way of thinking, the process of their thinking was very different from mine. I saw everything from a finance perspective, and they thought they had multiple aspects of business in their mind while taking any decision. So at that very moment, I thought that I should do an MBA to, level up my career in business strategy. And choosing fintech was basically my choice because I have a slight inclination towards fintech industry. So and that is the future also. So
Right.
that's why this MBA would help me to transition my career from a finance strategy manager to a more comprehensive business strategy manager in a fintech space, preferably in a fintech space right now. But I'm going with a very fluid
Open.
mind, not very
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
No,
Not
that
very
that
sure
is
that
a
I'm.
very yeah, that is a very good thinking you have, Arpit. I've seen so many students. They have a fixed mindset that this is what I want to do,
Mhm.
and many times they do not realize that if they go with such fixated mindset, they will not explore new things then.
Right,
Okay, so that's
right.
a very good part.
Because this is
So
what I
have you?
think, right? Hmm.
Go ahead,
So
please. Yes.
this is what I think right now. But 2 years down the line or 1 year down the line at ISB, maybe I find some better avenue for myself. So
Indeed.
that's why I'm going with a fluid mind. So this is right now my mindset is that I want to move to a business strategy role in a fintech space.
Right. Great. And you have worked in the accounting and auditing. Obviously, that's
Yeah,
where you started after a CA. Then you worked in the hospitality, then in automobiles and components industry, which is Cars
right,
24. So you had around 2.5 years of experience, when you
right.
were applying to the ISP. So it must not have been an easy application to build, considering your limited work experience. So what was your application strategy and primary focus area when you started building your application?
So the problem with Indian MBA colleges is that they don't consider the articleship period as the work experience.
So,
So if I
Arpit, there is a reason for that. In fact, to give you some background to this, ISB used to consider in the past the that experience also as a full time. But it is
Mhm.
the industry who told that we do not see it as a full time work experience, and that is why ISB also had to bring that change in the
Right.
evaluation process.
So that fact obviously made it a little bit difficult for me to frame my application in such a way that I can show my professional experience, my achievements in a very short span of time, right? Because during my articleship period, I won too many awards at PwC. I was a good performer there, but
Hmm.
I couldn't show all of that because
Hmm.
that is not counted as a work experience. So that
Hmm.
was indeed a very difficult task.
Yeah.
But matlab, I got a very good consultant from my background only, who was a CA only.
Right.
So he,
Yeah.
yeah, so he guided
I
me
uh,
that,
I I remember the first call we had, and I
yeah,
did
yeah,
tell you that we'll give you a consultant with a similar background, and
right.
that is the reason why we have recruited or onboarded, rather, that is a better word to use, consultants from different experiences and backgrounds. So how
Right.
was your discussion with your consultant, and how did all these discussions and the inputs you received during these discussions helped you to make your application stronger?
So when I started with this process, I was very blank. Like I didn't know what to write because there were three questions in front of me, and three questions were very much related to each other only.
Yes.
Like the first question was highlight your strengths and weaknesses. Second question was give a comprehensive journey of your background, basically.
Hmm.
So I was very blank, like what to write because there would be so much overlapping also in these three essays. So I had a discussion. First brainstorming session was very good. First brainstorming session was very good. So he told me that whatever you have in your mind, just write it down on paper. Don't think about the word limit. Don't think about what words to use,
Hmm.
how to frame the paragraphs. वो सब की चिंता छोड़ दो एक बारी को.
Hmm.
Just just put your thoughts on a piece of paper.
Hmm.
Then I took 3-4 days of time. So I used to come from office at 8 o'clock in the night, and then I used to stay up 2-3 hours to just think what I have done in the last 2-3 years or during my personal journey or professional journey. Let's just write it down. So
Right.
I wrote it down. Then we had multiple brainstorming sessions कि यार ये include कर लेते हैं, ये हटा देते हैं, ये इस तरीके से ठीक लगेगा.
Hmm.
Then finally we framed all those three essays. So the first essay which I wrote, it was a 400 word limit, and I
Uh-huh.
wrote it 800 or 900 words. That was the content I had in my mind, and I
Right.
was not actually thinking कि मैं इतना लिख सकता हूँ. When I
Gee.
started, I was not able to write 2 lines, but when I
Uh,
finished the first content, it was 800 words. Then
eight.
then I had a different question कि इसको छोटा कैसे करें हम? Yeah.
तो 800 को 300 में लाना पड़ा फिर है
या फिर 800 को 400 में लेके आना पड़ा.
400 में है
पहले वो 400 भी नहीं बन रहे थे.
अच्छा so great so so you had a great level of discussion with the consultant there so that
Yeah,
helped
yeah.
and जब
Absolutely.
आप application submit करें अर्पित from then to how much time did it take for you to receive an interview call
Um, I submitted my application around in September, right? That 10
Ah,
September was a date for this time round only.
yeah
Then I got an interview invite in I had an interview on 2nd of October or 1st of October, I guess. 1st October में interview था, तो I got an invite 5 days earlier.
Okay, okay, all right,
So September end में I got an invite for interview, basically.
right. So approximately एक महीने में आपको कॉल आ गया था इंटरव्यू का.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, great. And how much time did ISB give you to prepare for your admissions interview? Look, the
5 days.
interview 5 days, right? Huh. So that has been slightly a challenge for many students, if they have not thought through or have started preparation by themselves, तो थोड़ा सा वो difficult हो जाता है. And
Right, right. Less period.
how was your experience, in the actual ISB interview, and what were the key focus areas of discussion during the interview?
So ISB interview experience was slightly different than what we are used to have, like in our job interviews. So job interviews are very straight to the point, like what all you have done, what are your qualifications. They will ask some technical questions also. But ISB interview is not like that. So my interview experience was, it was basically a healthy conversation between among three people. That
Right,
was the basic crust of the interview, if I say. And so basically, the questions were around, um, if you are a Cars 24 finance manager, right? So what would you prefer? A region with high volume of cars and lower unit economics, or a higher unit economics and lower volume of cars? So these type of questions related to my work experience only. These were one. Then some were very open-ended questions like, where do you think India is going in terms of growth? What are
right.
your views on that? Then there were some पर्सनल क्वेश्चंस आल्सो कि कौन से कैंपस जाना पसंद करोगे, इस टाइप का. तो
That's fair.
दी so this was a very healthy conversation between three people. Yeah, so that's all I can say about the ISB interview.
हाँ, तो बहुत लोगों को लगता है कि एकदम स्ट्रेस इंटरव्यू होगा एंड ऑल, बट दैट वाज नॉट योर एक्सपीरियंस, राइट?
No, my experience was not like that कि stress interview तो नहीं था.
हाँ,
It was
और
pretty normal.
हाँ, were there any case studies and stuff in the interview?
Yeah, so case studies were there, but related to my profile only. Like I
Right,
told you, they made it there and then only. For example,
right,
you're working at Cars 24, so अब तुम बताओ कि how will you manage a region who is doing very less number of cars.
right,
So
right,
how will you push them? What all strategies do you have in mind? So this
right,
type of question, but related to my profile only.
right, right. And this is the first time you applied to ISB, right?
Right, right, right.
Okay, all right. And so, Arpit, now that you have a admit, what are you looking forward to do before you join the program?
Yeah, I'm very much actually confused about that. So I went to their session also. They had a session for the round one select applicants
Uh-huh.
at IT Sheraton recently. So I
Right.
went there, similar kind of question a student asked you what to do
Huh.
from the Allens. So Allens
Yeah.
also said कि it's a very tricky question. People generally, some people just chill and roam around कि थोड़ा आप घूम लो एक साल तो अब MBA में लगने
Right.
वाला है.
Yeah.
That's not the case with me. I'm thinking of upskilling myself in some
Good.
areas.
Nice.
So I wanted to learn SQL for a very long time because that actually helps in my profile also in finance
Right.
for data management and pooling.
Right.
So I'll try to learn that. Plus some travel also I'll do that before
Hmm.
joining ISB.
Right.
And apart from that, I want to learn some basics of stock market also. So basically technical trading. So वो भी
Right.
है mind, but let's see what happens. But
Yeah.
basically, yeah. So not doing anything from academics point of view, but yeah, upskilling myself so that it helps me in future.
Right. वैसे मतलब उनकी तरफ से देवर नो स्पेसिफिक इंस्ट्रक्शन की ये फलाना चीजें आपको करनी चाहिए बिफोर यू कम टू द प्रोग्राम.
So so one of the alums said that you can basically, there are some courses on capital markets and stock markets on NSC's website, right?
Right.
So
Right. Right.
they had that in mind कि if you are from an engineering background, so you must do all those courses. At least you should learn some basics because you will have these courses in your MBA.
Hmm.
And then studying for those courses there and then would be difficult for you. So you can just learn some basics of that. But coming from a CA background, I don't think I need that. So
Yeah.
that was basically for students who are from engineering background or like
Right.
they find
Right.
it difficult to cope up with the finance subjects in MBA, I guess.
Right. Indeed. Right. So that was more of a generic message
Yeah,
they have given. More, as you rightly pointed, it is for the engineering kids.
yeah.
Great. Before we wrap up, what will be your piece of advice to prospective applicants, who are essentially chartered accountants and applying? Because many chartered accountants, do come with this problem statement that, their internship is not counted. And
Like
after that, it's only 2.5 years is what is left for them to showcase.
so I would say, like post qualification, you should have some of the like feathers in your hat, like what you have done, and you should be on some good projects so that you can highlight those projects in your application interview. And even if you don't have that, just be true to the application, I would say.
Right.
Don't flaunt anything which you have not done
Yeah.
because
Very good advice.
the- they do ask questions from your application. If you have
Yes.
not done something and they ask about that and you are blank there, then there's no chance. Like they will
Very, very
judge
good
quick.
advice. Yeah.
They'll quickly judge that you have not done this.
Correct, correct, correct,
So if
correct.
you think that you have very less things to highlight, I would say just wait for a year, take up good projects at your workplace, then apply for ISB rather
Mm.
than just being a reapplicant next year, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Arpit. That's a very great advice you have given to the people coming with a similar background. So, finally, I would like to congratulate you again, Arpit, and nice to hear that you also got a 50% scholarship, on the
Thank you, sir.
program. And do keep in touch if there's any other help which we can provide you. We'll be more than happy to do that because we've been into this over a decade now. So there are many students who have gone through us, and many of them do keep in touch with us. While you
Right.
have your own network now through ISB, but beyond that, if any help you need, please feel free to get in touch with us.
Sure, sir.
Thank you so much, Arpit.
Thank you, sir.